So hello guys, in the previous video we had learned about the basic concept of data structure, that is the linked list, and to traverse through a linked list and inserting a node. Now in this video, which is the part 2 of the first video, we're gonna see a deleting a node. So here is the code for the previous video which I made. I'll put it down in the comments and pin it. So let's get started. So previously we had this one. Let me put it that. So this was our node, so 246, so we inserted 246. Now let's see how to delete a node. So we'll make our function here, and we can pass a value like the position. So here display, okay, delete 1, okay, maybe not, I'll put it like enter the node to delete cn port. So let me just declare that variable course. Now I have to call the function and position. Let me again display the same thing. So let me just put a new line there so that we could identify which is the output. So let's complete a delete function. I'll create a node that points to this linked list. So what happens here is we make a variable temp, and it says it will be equal to head. So let's just arbitrarily take a value like a 700 is a memory position, so 700 will be stored here. So it's equal to head, so head is equal to 700, so 700 will be stored here, and now it will point to the starting of the linked list. I hope you understood the statement. There is one important thing to notice when we're deleting a node. So if you're deleting a node, which is if you take the first node, right, so it's a special case. When you're deleting the first node, you don't have any node before this. This is the starting node, so all you have to do is you have to cut this link and you have to point it the variable to this node, and then call the delete function to delete this node. So let's see how to do that. Let me write down the statement. So here is the statement to delete the first node. So what happens here is when we are wanting to delete the first node of the linked list, now it goes into this function cout. The deleted element is temp data, so temp is pointing to the first node, so temp data, this is the data part. So now 2 will be printed, 2 deleted elements 2, and now we are making head is equal to temp next. So what is temp next? The temp next will have the address of this variable, so let's take it as 800. So 800 will be stored here, and temp next is 800, so head is equal to temp next. Now what happens here is, so this link will be cut and it will be pointing to this node. And now delete temp. So temp, this is temp, so temp is pointing to this node. So now what happens is, when you call the delete temp, it's gonna delete this function. So this whole thing is deleted. Let me erase it off. So this will be our newly modified linked list. Now let's see how to delete the rest of the nodes. For example, if you pass in the second, if you want to delete the second node, let's see how to code for that. Now let me revert back to the original linked list. So here is the original linked list. Now let's write the code for deleting the rest of the node. So here's the first statement. For int I equal to 1, I less than equal to n minus 2, I plus plus, temp is equal to temp next. So for example, if you want to delete the node number, node number 6, you're gonna pass in 3, so it's at position 3. This is at position 3, it's at position 2, it's at position 1. So when you want to delete position 3, it would go into this function. Now it won't go through this function because we are not deleting the first position. So here goes to for int I equal to 1, I less than. So now if you're wanting to delete 3 would go here, I is equal to 1, 3 minus 2 is 1, so this loop will run one time. So first it's gonna be temp is initially pointing here. Now it will go into the loop, it will run for one time, temp is equal to temp next. So what happens, temp's present node will be disconnected and it would point to this node. So now temp is equal to temp next. This is what happens. So now one loop is done, we have come to this position, and now that's it. So that's it, that would happen in this for loop. Now let's write the next set of code. Now next, create another variable to store this address. So struct, so here's the next set of codes. So now we are making a second variable, struct node star temp2 equal to temp next. So what that means, we are going to make another variable temp2. So this is temp2. Let's take it, this memory value as 900. So temp2 is equal to temp next. So presently temp is pointing to second node, and in second part of the second node here 700 will be 900. Okay, it's 900 will be stored here, and this 900 will be stored here because we are making it as temp2 is equal to temp next. So now what it does, it will point to this node. So see 900. Now temp next, this temp next, that is this temp next, okay, let me take it, this temp next will be equal to temp2's next. So what it basically does is, memory address of the second part of this node will be stored here. So what actually here it is, it's basically null. This is our last node, so it's null. So now if they are storing the value null after this temp next equal to temp2 next. So null is stored here. Now let me erase all other node. And one more thing we need, you have to delete delete temp2. So delete temp2 means, so temp2 is right now pointing to the last node, so now this will be erased. So temp2 will be deleted from the memory. So now we basically have a linked list with the last node, that is second node, pointing to null. So this is our newly modified list. Even if you take example, if you're wanting to delete the second node, let me go back. If you're wanting to delete the second node, this temp would come here, and the memory address of this one will be equal to this one. Let me just, the memory address of this one will be equal to this one. So, and you will call the delete temp2, and that's gonna like erase this. It's gonna just delete it from the memory. So that's how you delete a node. That's the theoretical, not basically theoretical, it's just a way to show how it happens in the system. So let's just compile the code. And one more thing guys, we have to put these statements in the else part, because we are doing for the cases other than the first node. So let's compile it and see. So we can first delete the first node. So here we are getting 4 6. Now let's compile it again. Now let's try to delete the second node. So 2 6. Now let's try to delete the last node. Two 4. So this is how you delete a node. So now you have basically covered the singly linked list, and there are like concepts like stack queue, circular queue, which in linked list actually. So if you want a tutorial on that, you can mention it in the comments, so that if you want to know about it, I can make a video in the upcoming videos. So please do like, please do share and subscribe. It would be a good motive for me that I would be able to make more videos. Thank you.